Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
LUCASFILM may have just secretly announced an Old Republic Star Wars project without anybody actually knowing. Allow me to explain. The company had lots of treats for fans of the franchise over the 4-day Star Wars celebration event a couple of weeks ago. This included the announcement of 3 new Star Wars movies in the works, some incredibly exciting Ahsoka footage with our first trailer, a tantalizing sneak peek at the Acolyte, and well, so much more, stuff that we've covered here on the channel. However, with all of this, there is one key announcement that may have gone unnoticed. On Lucasfilm's new official timeline for the franchise, there is a spot for now the Old Republic. However, even how popular that Star Wars era is, there's a catch to it. It doesn't currently have anything canon within its stories. Everything a part of the High Republic, which would be its games, and some of the books and novels, are all a part of, well, legends. Beloved entries into the franchise, such as Knights of the Old Republic, all sit firmly in Legends status. So, is a new project on the way? Why are they bothering with telling us anything about the Old Republic era? Well, let's start simple. What exactly about the Old Republic is actually canon right now? For now, based off of the Rise of Skywalker novelization, it's a few names, like Revan. The Old Republic is a beloved era for many Star Wars fans, even with its Legends canon status. AKA, none of those stories line up with any Disney-produced Star Wars content. There are, however, some select aspects carried over. One of the first elements of the era to make it into Disney's new canon was Darth Revan, a fan-favorite Sith character from the Old Republic video game. While all of his stories remain in Legends, his actual existence, really just his name, was confirmed thanks to the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary, not even the movie itself necessarily. He did go on to be mentioned in the 2022's canon book Star Wars Shadow of the Sith, which followed Luke Skywalker 2 decades after the Battle of Endor as he went up against a new Sith menace. This book is canon, but it's simply just another name mention of Darth Revan, that he exists simply within canon to a certain degree. None of his actual stories are a part of canon. Other lure carryovers are very slim, but include the crossguard lightsaber hilt design used by Kylo Ren, and also seen in Star Wars Rebels, a blaster added to Star Wars Battlefront 2, Yavin 4's place in the ancient Sith lure, and other small tidbits, really just the name of things. So there is one other key conflict in the Old Republic, which could be the perfect place to focus on when creating a new canon story. I think that the one obvious choice of which they could tell a story about would have to be the Mandalorian War. More Mandalorian stuff, I mean, who doesn't love it? The earliest of conflicts between the Proud faction and the Jedi Order. Seeing how prevalent the Mandalorian culture and characters are in Star Wars stories right now, with the 3rd season of The Mandalorian just wrapping up, there would be an obvious way to transition fans into a new era. Although I do have to say, kicking that off with maybe a movie instead would be way cooler. And I also would like to quickly clear up, if you have any questions about the Acolyte being a part of the Old Republic, it's not. It's a part of the High Republic. Those two different eras are both within canon, and are separate actually, with the High Republic era taking place after the events of whatever we could get in the Old Republic era. So having a Mandalorian war with a Jedi Order taking place in the Old Republic is something that we've known about for a little bit here and there. And it is something that is a part of the Old Republic stories within Legends. In fact, it's established that in the current canon, the Darksaber was stolen by Mandalorians who had sacked a Jedi temple during the fall of the Old Republic. It's just a loose story of how the Darksaber really came to be. There have also been numerous references to the animosities between the Jedi and the Mandalorian cultures within the animated shows and outside of. In Legends, the Mandalorians were, best known to them, manipulated by the Sith Empire into starting a war against the Galactic Republic. This confrontation finally came to an end after the Jedi had started getting involved, essentially saying that how this overall war had actually broke out between the Mandalorians and the New Republic, or the Galactic Republic rather, the Jedi Order, is that the Sith Empire, at that point, had posed them against the New Galactic Republic. Another big draw of the Old Republic is the Sith Lords, who steal the spotlight. Ask any fans about what their favorite parts of the era are, and they are likely to point out names like Revan or Nihilus. Darth Revan in particular is one of the most highly regarded fan-favorite Sith characters in the whole franchise, with Thrawn having been brought over into the official canon thanks to Star Wars Rebels animated show. It wouldn't be surprising if Revan is next on Lucasfilm's list. What makes this even, well, more likely is how closely connected Revan is to the Mandalorian War. Revan is the one that, as a Jedi, before his proper fall to the dark side, ended the confrontation by sacrificing countless lives to wipe out the entire Mandalorian fleet. This year all being regarded, there are plenty of stories within the Old Republic to be told and to be canonized within to how Disney sees fit for their current timeline that could work very well. It really just depends on the type of medium that they make it in. Books, comics, novels, a Disney Plus show, or even a movie. Which brings me to my next point, James Mangold's movie going into ancient times. One of the bigger announcements at Star Wars Celebration was the reveal that Logan and Indiana Jones director James Mangold would be writing and directing a movie focused on the very first Jedi Order ever. This would introduce a new timeline above and before the events of the Old Republic or the High Republic, known as Dawn of the Jedi. Technically speaking, the Old Republic did explain how the Jedi came to be. However, those events are far removed from the bigger, more centric timelines in the same iconic era, and simply a part of Legends. As I did mention, we would really only see these stories of the Old Republic being brought into canon if and how Disney feels and sees fit of fitting their canonized story timeline for the time being. And if that means bringing in a different era, a new timeline, being the Dawn of the Jedi, to explain the overall existence of the Jedi Order and the reveal of the Force and how everything really came to be, then I think that's beyond more exciting. And so, as I did mention, interestingly enough, on Lucasfilm's new timeline, Mangold's story is at its own spot prior to the Old Republic, a new era known as the Dawn of the Jedi, as I had mentioned. Even before Mangold's movie was announced, the current Star Wars canon already made it clear that Lucasfilm had aimed to change a lot of what the Old Republic had established and done, even if it was already a part of Legends and how they would bring it into canon, especially when it comes to the very first Jedi, the creation of the Jedi Order. Star Wars The Last Jedi, Episode 8, the highly controversial Star Wars movie, had revealed that the very first Jedi was a nameless figure, known only as the Prime Jedi. They are also likely the same being who had built the first Jedi Temple on Ahch-To, where Luke Skywalker had gone into exile and had hidden after the fall of his Jedi Order, thanks to the hands of Ben Solo. Even with the small amount of information that we do know, it seems clear that both Mangold and Lucasfilm are looking to chart their own course and create something entirely new, which I'm all for. Perhaps this mysterious movie could even set up a sequel that might give fans a canon story of how the Sith came to be. The Old Republic certainly isn't forgotten about by fans and by Lucasfilm, which is great to hear, even after years of its canon was disowned by Disney. Hopefully, fans aren't too far off in thinking that Lucasfilm has and was hinting at some secret plans with its new timeline. Just simply throwing it out there, I think, is enough for them saying that, hey, we know about this, we are acknowledging it, we want to do something with it. BioWare's massively successful Star Wars The Old Republic MMO, massively multiplayer online game, which was released all the way back in 2011, is still going strong today. In fact, it even had premiered a new Sith-focused expansion pack earlier last year. It's still receiving updates even, despite it being a part of Legends. Then there is the beloved Knights of the Old Republic RPG, which is currently the process of being remade. Sadly, rumors suggest that things behind the scenes are a little messy on that project and have made that project more delayed. So it could be a while before the title ever sees the light of day and actually has another official announcement from Lucasfilm. Either way, with how popular the timeline is amongst Star Wars fans, it's honestly strange that it's taken this long for the impending Old Republic project to become a real possibility. And well, now thanks to this new timeline, I think that it definitely for sure is, and that we will be seeing more with it in the very near future. At the very least, whatever becomes of James Mangold and his Star Wars movie will be the closest to the era has ever gotten to be seeing within live action with his movie, and it will also almost certainly be the perfect stepping stone into a proper exploration of the fan favorite timeline in Star Wars history, making it canon. Let me know what you guys think about this all in the comment section down below. What would you want to see with the Old Republic? Would you rather see something that's re-canonized and Disneyfied at that, or would you rather have them bring and recreate exactly copy and paste of what they had already for the games brought back into canon? Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys all think. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. Thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.